you've seen a trillion online gurus, and they usually teach you a model they don't use, promise you insane turnaround times, and assure you their model is incredibly easy. If that's what you want, this video is not for you. Here's a model I actually used to make tens of thousands of dollars. Not millions, no Lambos in a couple weeks. Udemy is an online course platform with over 100 million students, and you can capitalize on their audience without having to have a following if you know how. And all it takes is 3 simple steps: stacking the odds in your favor, digital product arbitrage, and ranking your course. To stack the odds in your favor, you want to create a Udemy instructor account and hop on Marketplace Insights. Now here's where the magic happens. Because Marketplace Insights shows us topics like Python, where the bestseller made over $50,000 last month. Now, as juicy as it may seem, you'll quickly see that this isn't the best opportunity. That's because supply is really high with 1,382 courses. So standing out would be a hassle or close to impossible. But that's not a problem, because with this tool, we can find course topics like Marketo, where the bestseller is only making around $300 a month, but there's only 10 other courses on the subject. This right here is already different from 99% of videos you've seen that advertise a beginner-friendly model. Here, you actually know that there's a gap in the market. There's a clear discrepancy between supply and demand, and that's how you can stack the odds in your favor. I have full videos on how to find topics like this, but you also have a free guide with 100 course topics in the description. Once you have your topic, it's time for you to create the course. Oh, but I know nothing about Marketo. I don't even know what it is. How am I going to create a course on it? Chill. There are many ways for you to create a course without being an expert, and despite what you might think, people don't care. Students usually pay around $10 for a Udemy course, and the main value for them comes from you organizing and synthesizing the information. Whether you're an expert or not doesn't really matter. So how do you create a course? First, create an outline with ChatGPT where you decide on each section and each lesson in each section. This is basically your curriculum. Now you have a few options. You can either make scripts for your lessons with ChatGPT and record them yourself, or you can collaborate with other instructors who are experts on the matter. To find these instructors, you go on sites like Upwork, you make a job post, and you propose the following deal. They make the content, you take care of the marketing, and you split the profits. You can see the exact details of this in the guide as well. And before you tell me this wouldn't work, I made an entire account without making a single course myself, and I ended up selling the account for $15,000. Now, if you don't want to do either of those, there is one last option. Love it or hate it, we live in the world of AI. And this opens many doors for you, like the opportunity of having an AI avatar narrate all the lessons for you. So you can create a script with ChatGPT, then go to a site like heygen.com to create the narration, and all you'd have to do is add the screen recording to go with it with a simple editing software. The great part about this last method is that it basically gets rid of all the time it takes to create a course. So you could be creating dozens of courses where odds are stacked in your favor. And you could be doing this without investing hours into course creation. Now, there is a caveat. I wouldn't say AI is at its full potential for this yet, and I generally think that people will always prefer to consume content like online education from a real person. So if you make courses with an AI avatar, you probably will expect slightly lower conversion than if you made them yourself. But hey, you can make them in minutes with this, so you win some, you lose some. By the way, if you want me to take you by the hand to help you build or grow your Udemy brand, book a free call with me in the description. When you have your lessons, it's time to upload them to Udemy. Fill in all the information for your course and post it. Hooray! We made sure to find a course topic that was already a gap in the market, so we're already sort of set up for success. But there's a lot of things that we can do when we're uploading the course to optimize it for it to rank the highest. First, go back to Marketplace Insights and look at the keywords for your course topic. You want to include those in your title and subtitle to optimize them for SEO. For example, for Marketo, the top keywords are Marketo, Marketo certification, content marketing, and Adobe Marketo. So your title could be something like this: Adobe Marketo certification, content marketing with Marketo. This way, whenever someone searches for basically any of those keywords, they have a really good chance of finding your course. To come up with titles like these, you can just send a screenshot of the keywords to ChatGPT and have it come up with 10 to 20 different titles. And then you can mix and match them to find the ultimate combination. We're almost there, but there's a couple more things you can do to make your course rank even higher. So the number one thing on Udemy is conversion rate. We want to have the highest conversion rate possible, so Udemy shows our course to as many students as possible. And the most important thing to increase our conversion rate in the beginning is to get some initial sales. I always stress this, I can't stress this enough, it's crucial. And the easiest way to do that is to share a coupon with your friends and family. You get 100% of the revenue back, so none of it is lost to Udemy. So if you want to pay them back with a coffee or something like that, you can. but none of it is lost to Udemy. You get all the money back and you boost your conversion. Now, another essentially free win is to increase the perceived value of your course. You'll see that when you go on a landing page for a Udemy course, there's the course length, but there's also other things like articles, downloadable resources, and assignments. All of these you can add with AI in basically a couple of minutes, and it increases the perceived value of your course and the packaging to make it seem like it's more than just an online course with a couple lessons. For articles, you can add the scripts that you use for the lessons or the slides if you use slides, or if you don't have either, you can just make articles with ChatGPT. The crazy thing about the articles is that Udemy takes the time it takes to read the articles and it adds it to your course duration. So it increases your perceived value that much more. For downloadable resources, you can just take whatever you uploaded as articles and you can add them as PDFs and they'll show as downloadable resources. And finally, by creating an assignment, which is just filling in a couple things and it takes 2 minutes to create, it'll show on your landing page as assignments. So in just a few minutes, you've made your page go from just another random course to a professional value-packed course. Now, rinse and repeat this process with as many courses as possible in as many gaps in the market as possible, and you'll be on your way to build your course empire. If you want me to help you through the process step by step, book a free call with me in the description.